No. Oof.
Oh,
Ooh. Mm. Oh no.
oh,
Oof. Mm.
oh,
Oh.
okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
All right. So, friend of the pod, friend of the channel, friend of the life,
I
Courtney,
feel like I'm like an
AKA
honorary like member
co-host,
or something. Right.
honorary co-host, my girl, Courtney, AKA none of my friends watch anime. I'm one of the
Mm.
friends who don't watch anime, but I support all the stuff.
You watch a little bit.
I don't watch the real anime. The one that you recommended for me, the two that I was like, I can't do it.
Can't do
Attack
this.
on Titan, I said, first of all, these things are gonna haunt my dreams.
Jessica. And you know what's so crazy? I would never recommend Attack on Titan to people, but knowing that you love TV and lore and a good story,
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. I did enjoy it. It got to be
it's a
too
lot. It's
much.
dark.
I
It's
said,
dark.
Lord, I
It's
said,
dark.
he gonna die too. Lord. But then I see the Sons of Anarchy. Love that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
And it's used to look at that high white man.
Mhm.
But it got to a certain point. I said, Lord, I don't know if they're gonna get out of this one. I gotta tap out. When things get to I tapped out of Breaking Bad.
That anxiety will only give you so much.
I can
That's
only
fair.
handle so much. Okay,
Seems
cheers
okay.
to talk about all things Met Gala 2025,
Mhm.
superfine tailoring and black dandyism. First question, do you consider yourself a dandy?
I don't actually. No. And I saw your tweet about is dandyism does it coincide with camp? And I believe that it does.
It's a Venn
Um
diagram.
yeah, I definitely think that it definitely slips in there. But I don't consider myself a dandy.
I consider
I don't
myself
think
an
so.
aspiring dandy,
I could see that.
right?
Yeah.
And what I enjoy about the definition is kind of broad in a way, but what I like about it is I don't know if you remember the piece that I wrote a few years ago about basically how people have this horrible reaction to men in the spotlight now dressing
Mm.
more feminine, but this is
Mhm.
the thing that's always happened with artists. And in my research I was finding out about this like switch to peacocking and how some of these things came about. And black dandyism obviously is somewhat political. It's about this, taking ownership of our identity as Black
Mm.
people in this country and across the diaspora.
Mhm.
It's a way of maintaining a certain kind of dignity. And I think that because now there's so many different ways to dignify yourself as a Black American, that the style of dress is more niche than it
Mhm.
once was.
Yeah.
Because it has roots in like the Harlem Renaissance and the Langston Hughes and the W.E.B. Du Bois, like fabulous dressing, honey. My God,
Mhm.
hello. And we know that like back then, I know for me, like the dandies in my family, I feel like my first exposure to a dandy was like my country ass uncles and like
Mhm.
my grandfather who
Mhm.
worked these really hard jobs by day. And when it came to Sunday, baby, they put on their gaiters, they put
Mhm.
on their
Mhm.
hat. My grandma, my granddaddy coordinated. They didn't match, but they coordinated. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it was the pageantry of an Easter Sunday.
Mhm. On a regular ass day. Shout out to Sinners, right? Because I do feel like it came out right at the right time.
Mm.
And I think too, just like and my friend Mikella, she made a video about what she wanted to see at the Met Gala, and she dug deep into, and I believe she's Liberian and Nigerian, but
Mhm.
she dug deep into like, the African aspect of dandyism. And not even just like and to your point, like Harlem Renaissance, but like the southern part of dandyism, right? Like
I'm gonna tell you what I love. I love that, and we were just talking about 30 Rock. There is a joke in 30 Rock about the color of ties that like
mhm,
a man can wear. There, one of my favorite comedians, John Mulaney, has a joke about how like gangsters used to dress up to go commit a crime as if they were going
mhm.
to church in Atlanta. That's a very
Yes.
specific. But I feel like when I think
Seriously.
about, let's also talk about a dandy that wasn't there that I actually think should have been Steve Harvey. That was regarded, the way Steve Harvey dressed was, it's
Oh.
so country. That is dandyism. That is Southern dandyism at its best. And watching
Mhm.
it, you know, some of his politics and his, you know, the shit don't age well,
Questionable.
honey. However,
Questionable.
watching his style evolve from
Mhm.
the really big, like, three-piece suits to now, he's
Shoulders and shit. So my mom still watches, Family Feud, and he be putting them suits on, baby.
his new stylist,
Mhm.
impeccable.
Tailoring.
When we talk about
Tailoring.
tailoring, and
Mhm.
that's something that I do feel, and we'll get to, we're gonna go like for like, on our, you know, faves from the red carpet. But I do want to just highlight some of the key factors of dandyism per Vogue, which we don't look to Vogue as the Bible for anything, but we gonna allow it for this time. Okay, so bespoke tailoring is number one.
Mhm.
Number two is bold colors and patterns. Number three is accessorizing with a purpose, which is where I think the camp really comes in, and cultural fusion. This is a
Mm.
very, is the word diasporic expression of style, of self, of, and I can't forget one of my favorite dandyisms, like, culturally, the Solange "Losing You" video.
Mm.
Mind, that is one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite videos. I have always felt that Solange was really great at style, especially during
Mhm.
that era. What she does that I have not really seen anyone do as well, maybe Tracy Ellis Ross, she mixes patterns so well.
Very well. Mhm.
And that's like, that's tough to pull off. But
Right. But that goes to that coordination and not, like, matching, right?
you
Like,
know,
the coordination of it, yeah,
and I just
for
love,
sure.
I love the pageantry and the proudness of the way Black people in the South showed up for church.
Mm.
Like, historically, that was our only time to be social, and I think that that has some not so great ramifications for us right now. A lot of us are being held back by the Black church. That's a conversation for another day. Hello,
Mm.
take a sip.
I was gonna say, that's my bag.
Hello. We'll have to have a whole nother guest podcast about that. Okay, so two people that weren't there that I wanted to be there, Steve
Okay.
Harvey and Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson was one of my first introductions to women in well-tailored suits. Part
100.
of the reason why I own several button downs that I put under a corset, this being one of them, is
Mhm.
because of Janet Jackson in the I Get So Lonely video. I was like,
Mhm.
where was
But
Janet?
even, like, throughout her tours, like, all of her costume designs are literally a part of dandyism. The shoulder pads, the tailoring, the ties, the vests, the suits, like, everything. Yeah,
Where's
for
my
sure.
girl? There's
Yeah.
another woman as well. She owns this shop called The Chemist. I own a couple of their pieces. She went to, of course, it just fell out of my head. There's this really big menswear, um, not show, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Um,
Not conference. Anyway, there's a big menswear,
oh, like a trade show?
kind of, almost like a
Mm.
festival kind of thing that takes place in Italy. And
Okay.
you've seen, I know I shared videos of it with you. The name of it just fell out of my head, but she had one of the best looks there. Like, her
Mhm.
stuff is very well made. I own some pieces. I've ordered some pieces for my styling client. Her name is Sade Akinosho, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. She's a Black woman based in London. Absolutely love her and would have loved to have seen her there and to see what
Mm.
she would have put together. So,
Was she the one who, she just did a denim look
yes,
recently? Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is impeccable.
Impeccable tailoring.
It,
Impeccable tailoring.
even the
Yeah.
piece that I bought from her, because I'm very cautious of like ordering for like an online boutique.
100. Yeah.
Quality, worth
Mhm.
it. I think
Yeah.
that set altogether was like 389 or something like that. Worth every penny.
That's great. That
Or
sounds great.
everything it fits,
Yeah.
like, at the waist, you know, like, usually
Yeah.
we have to get stuff taken in at the waist because of the
Mhm.
ears. Hello,
Right. She
perfect.
had, the I think it was, like, a part of her new season that I saw, she had, like, it was like a backless kind of something, like a top. She had, like, a backless top and then, like, a high waist pant, and then she put the jacket over top of it, all denim, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, bitch,
I'll add the pictures in post. Yeah,
that's what we need."
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, give
So,
me, oh, go ahead.
who I should have seen there?
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen Angelina Jolie, and Jadena
Where
there.
was he?
The classic man.
Where was he? But I guess
Where was
he's
he?
not culturally as relevant. Like, we haven't heard
Yeah.
from him or seen him, so but for the
Well, so
function,
exactly. Well, that's my but and so then that goes to, um, you know, what the Met Gala is, right? And so it's like, here's what I've also found out per Bryson, my best friend, who works in nonprofits. He was like, "Yo, like the Met already gets millions of dollars already from New York. Then they have the fundraiser, and it's like, y'all already got enough coin. Like, what exactly are we doing here to where you can't invite like these people, right, to come to this particular event?"
well,
Um,
we
so
know
even though yeah, well,
we know from working in fashion, it's the exclusivity.
100.
It's the
Which
ex
is what fashion is, to be fair, right? And it's always been like that. It's always about the have and the have-nots, right? But I do feel like if you're going to, and which is why I was constantly saying that nothing is ever for us unless it's by us, right? So I think with inviting certain people, it's for the culture, right? Like, that's what you do that for. You invite the Jadenas, you invite why the fuck isn't Janet Jackson coming there? Happy to see Diana Ross there
mhm,
after years and decades of not being there,
mhm,
but I'm
mhm.
still just like, I wish I would have seen just different people on the red carpet who embody dandyism
The lifestyle. It
showing
is
up.
a lifestyle.
It
Dandy
is
is
a
a
lifestyle. It's
lifestyle.
across the diaspora. It's all those different things. Like I told you, I think her name is Chantel. She did Dandyism, the exhibit. She started in like 2010. It went international, I went to the one in Chicago in like 2015. Like, she wasn't invited, she wasn't included in the conversation. I just feel like there should have just been different people just there to speak on that lifestyle. What makes it a lifestyle? What makes it something that is worth having it as an
So,
exhibit, you know?
very fair. I know one of the guys, who helped with this exhibit. He's been
Mm,
a guest on the podcast. He's very smart. And I don't just mean in terms of you're educated, you're degreed.
mm,
I mean, like, your mind, your
mhm,
critical thinking, where you're
mhm,
going with, right? I am trusting that when I go see the exhibit, I will see what I'm expecting to see in the exhibit.
100.
The gala is almost like a commercial for the exhibit, and the commercial's not going to give us everything. So I still have hope, right?
Mhm.
That at the actual,
And the after party looks for me are always better.
what is that about?
What is it? What is it? Is it that they feel more comfortable? Because I feel like some people think that the Met Gala is a costume party,
It is.
which it kinda is,
It's
right?
for
But,
the
like
Costume Institute, which I know that in that realm, costume meaning like manner of dress.
mhm,
I get that.
mhm,
But to
mhm.
me, it is an haute couture costume party.
There we go.
You are
But I feel
supposed
like
to have fun.
they don't have fun,
Can
right?
we
Like,
talk
they don't
about
look
it?
at it like, yeah, like, I feel like when I say they look at it like a costume party, you know how, like, some people will just show up to, like, a Halloween party with, like, "I'm a slutty cat," and then you have
Or
someone who shows up in, like, full on fucking they went to a makeup artist and had, like,
it's the office.
the 3D.
It's Jimmy
Yes!
Halpert wearing a name tag that says Dave, and it's everyone else going all out.
Or my girl, when she was working at her new job, and She had to take her hat off. She
You know, she couldn't take her hat off. Like, you know, um, I get overall, I would have liked to see I would have liked to have seen more
Mhm.
us.
A lot of people exactly, and I think, like,
And I
unfortunately, a
mean
lot of
I mean
us
us holistically.
Mhm.
Us.
100, 100.
Okay.
But I think that what happens is a lot of us aren't in that mainstream relevancy of the Met Gala,
Let's
right?
talk about this. Let's talk about this. Is this not just another example of Andre Leon Talley's life? You do have
100.
some of us in the room, but how
Mhm.
much power do you have in the room? How much agency do you have? How much can you exercise?
Because this would have happened while he was still alive. So, a lot of people were upset that wisdom wasn't there,
Let me
but
tell you.
apparently
Go ahead.
there was not like an influencer table. There was not like a lot of like TikTok people weren't there. So I guess that's what happened last year. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, then that's when you step in and say, we're asking dandies to come as in their Sunday's best. This man has proven to everyone that he can put shit together in a production, right?
Let me say this.
So just imagine it
In
if you
addition
give him free
to
reign.
I don't like him just being relegated to a TikToker. There's
Mhm,
there's there's some
mhm,
duality there. There are
mhm.
people that are extremely talented that just so happen to be using that as a medium, and there are people who it's just a cultural phenomenon that they have blown up. Some of these white
But
girls
it's also like
that could walk in
sometimes
here
that's
right
all we
now,
have. Yeah,
right? Right?
yeah.
Because if he's not been offered somebody's creative director, somebody's um guest designer spot, if he hasn't been offered those opportunities or even been in a place where he could go out for those opportunities,
Mm.
where would
What
he
else?
be able to
Mhm,
position himself? He's not an actor, he's not a
mhm,
rapper, he's not an athlete. He is a
mhm,
legit fashion dude. He is a
mhm,
legit dandy. Where else could he position himself? That's the beauty of social media. You get to make
mhm.
yourself what you want to be, but he is that in real life, and this is just
And
where we're
also the editing lately, I feel like he continues to like elevate. So yes, the clothes by all means, right? Like absolutely. But like the editing of like putting together these videos, I
see
was
the
just like,
production.
are you hiring someone or is this you? Like what is this? So
That's
the
what he says.
production of it
He
all.
talks about
Mhm,
how he does everything himself, and that's why he's not posting every single day like some
mhm. He
people.
can't.
He
He
can't.
can't.
You can't put
Like
that
there's no
level.
way. There's
I
no way
would,
I can give you that kind of quality every single day.
and
There's absolutely none.
I think that this was an overcorrection for the fact that there were so many unqualified
Mm.
people there last year who a lot of
Mhm.
people are like, this person doesn't deserve to be there. This was an overcorrection because he deserved to be there.
He deserved to be there. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. He did
Yeah.
deserve to be there. And I think that, like, so from the technicality of it, that's because he was like, I wasn't invited this year. Like, it's not anything that's crazy, but like, I just wasn't invited this year. And I think that that was the reason why. But again, I think that's when you put on your big girl panties and you figure out how to get these certain people into this spot and figure
Well,
out how that works.
Lewis Hamilton this year purchased a table for Black women.
Mm.
Yeah, last year he purchased a table. I forgot for which designer,
He
but
got
Lewis
finer.
Hamilton, as a host, made a point to purchase a table for, like the influential, like Black women in our lives who,
Mm.
like his statement about it was really beautiful. And I'm rooting for him, not just because he fine,
He real fine.
but he real fine, he real
He real
pretty.
fine.
Not just because of
I didn't know that he and, that girl were a couple. No idea.
the lying. I thought it was a joke because I didn't know. I'm gonna say this.
Shocked me
I
dead.
didn't know that he went to our church. Do you know what I'm saying?
You didn't?
I
See,
thought
I
he
figured
didn't
he
go to
did, but I figured he was just like a slut. Like,
Oh
I
no,
didn't think he was
I
like,
didn't
yeah.
think he went to our church
He's too fine.
because he's so fine.
He's so fine. He's too fine.
And
That's
it's
fair.
like
I
straight
think that's
dudes
fair.
don't be that fine.
And
Um,
eloquent and put together and like F-150 and dating other black women,
I was about to say,
if I
excuse
may.
me,
If I may.
and liking black women. Excuse me. Tell me more. Where do I sign up? Let me ask this: was he one of your faves? Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Let's get into it. He actually is in one of my faves. I had critiques. Um,
You tell.
I had critiques. I definitely did not like the black shoe.
I knew you were gonna hate the black shoe.
I
I
hated
knew you
it.
weren't gonna like the black shoe.
I
What
hated it.
would I like to see? A white?
I would have done or like a off-white kind of cream, but honestly, maybe a soft leather wine,
Mm,
same style shoe, but bring out the accents of those red notes that he
that's
had
what I
in
was
the
gonna
look.
say. So, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna allow it. I'm gonna say what I love about it. I love
Tell
the
me.
tango.
I, no, listen. So my thing was the tailoring was also exquisite,
Impeccable.
impeccable,
That's
impeccable.
Can we
Yeah.
talk about you seen Bad Boys, like the
Yeah.
first Bad Boys
The
movie?
first one.
When Will
On repeat.
says to Martin Lawrence, he's like, "That's how you drive. From here on
Now
out, that's how you drive.
that's how you drive. I'm watching
That's how
that
you wear
tonight.
a pant. That's how you tailor
Yeah.
a pant. And from here on out, that's how all you got. That's how you tailor a pant.
That's how I want you to do. And I also loved just like the pant, but just the jacket cut, how it hit right at the waist. Right
Slutty
at the
little waist,
waist.
slutty little
Just
waist,
fine. Oh,
right at the
just
right
fine.
place.
Look
Love
at him.
it.
And then the pearl details, the shells,
The
just like
the
yeah,
tassels and
yeah.
um dye workwear guy on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, he was
Mm-hmm.
talking about that the way that they did those tassels is actually like this very antiquated process that like not a lot of even very skilled tailors still know how to do. So this
Yeah.
is like a digging deep in terms of the tailoring.
Yeah.
And
It's just good.
yeah, it's good.
But
It's
even
good.
that the thick wing, like everything just like it hit for me. Also
I
his
like a big
hands look
bell.
delicious.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know how we are about a hand.
Oof, his hand looked great. Yeah, so he was definitely one of my faves.
Can
Yeah.
I tell you who else's pants made me really happy? Oh
Who?
damn, what is this kid's name now? Okay, go to your next. I gotta find this kid's name. Shoot.
For the faves, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, I tried to do top 5. I really
I
tried.
struggled. I struggled, but go ahead.
Okay.
Which one like for
I'm gonna
like?
try. Okay, I'm gonna try. Tiana Taylor. Let's just get right into it.
I want to talk about it. I want to say this from the back. I love when people think about the layout
Mm,
of the Met. You want a moment on those steps. A train
mhm,
matters. From the back,
mhm,
with the references to the Harlem Rose,
mm,
I was absolute. This is delicious. From the
mhm.
front, I didn't know where my eye was supposed to land.
That's fair.
It took, you know what? It was every
It
element
was
of
everything.
dandyism into
Yeah.
one where we were rolling over into camp territory, but in a way that I was like, I don't know where we go from here, and I don't know where my eye needs to focus.
Yeah. I
My
loved it.
my eye didn't know where to focus.
That's
No, you
fair.
said you wanted to throw up, and I said, "Oh, she fucking with this one."
Yeah, I love it. I mean, every little piece. What I wanted to see from her though was to take the cape off
Okay,
at some point throughout the night and just showcase the tailoring of that suit
okay,
because it was a traditional zoot suit, but
yeah.
it was tailored to fit Tiana.
Mhm.
I loved the vest. Now, I will say I would have got rid of the necklace, personally.
It was
I
a
would have got rid of the necklace. I would have kept everything else. I love the big flower. I love the hat. I love the do-rag. Like, and I think that honestly, she went very Harlem with the dandyism
she,
because they
yes,
put on every fucking thing, right? Like it was everything. I'm putting
everything.
on a 6-piece suit instead of a 3-piece,
It was
right?
everything all the time,
Hmm.
everywhere at once.
It was a flashy Harlem. I'm a flashy Harlem nigga.
Yeah,
And that's what I loved about it. It's what ASAP wanted to do, but didn't quite. But anywho,
but he went Zamure. Okay, found the name.
nonetheless, yes. Go ahead.
I loved Keith Powers. I loved his look.
He's in my fave.
Can I
He's in my
tell you
fave.
that this is
Mm.
how I want all my wide leg pants to, when I say I want
Mhm.
them to sweep the floor, this is what I mean. When you see that
Mm.
slutty little waist, you
Ooh.
see that slutty little waist,
Actually, he's in my honorable mentions, but he
he's in my
is
he I this is one that
he
I struggled with. I struggled
yeah.
with honorable mention versus fave, especially for the guys.
Actually, maybe
This
he is in my fave.
tailoring. This tailoring is impeccable. Look at that little
Yeah.
way. When a man can pull off the cropped jacket and the cropped jacket hits exactly right,
And he's tall.
baby, baby.
So, I
Okay,
don't know.
okay.
Okay, yeah, he is in my fave actually. Okay, so then I have who's my next fave? The Duke.
He was in my honorable mention.
That's fair.
Let's talk
The
about
only
Rachel
reason why
Page.
the only reason why he's in my faves is
Okay.
because he went bold with color and he went straight up the same shade, right? Like I was that takes a lot to do.
I will admit,
Um
I will allow it. I will allow it.
And I also think like so that's another thing about like and obviously he's British, but that's old New York where they would wear the same shade of every fucking thing and just
Okay,
like
that's also Southern.
that too. So I feel like I loved the brooch. I loved the
Mhm.
like simple accessories, but it was all about the tailoring. It was all about the color and he fine.
And
So
here's what, for a color that bold, you can't make no mistakes with the
you
tailoring.
can't make
You
no
can't.
mistakes. You
Okay,
can't make
I'm
no
gonna give you
mistakes.
another favorite that she
Okay.
was a favorite of mine last year. Mona
Okay.
Patel.
Which one is Mona Patel? Sorry, you know I'm not good with names. Bitch. The
Bitch, you
back.
see the back.
The back.
Who
Tom
that
Brown.
in the
Yo,
back? Who that in the back? Her.
here's the thing. Tom Brown been stepping on motherfuckers' necks for like the past 2 years
And let me tell you something.
and ain't let up.
I said, Tom Brown better bring it for this shit. And
And
did.
here's the thing. And here's the thing about Tom. He's been dressing black celebs for a long
And we
time
talked about it.
and athletes
And I'm gonna tell you
for
another.
a long time.
I'm gonna tell
And
you.
so I feel like he had a really good table. Like he had a time to shine this time.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
another thing. When that stuff goes on sale, it really goes on sale. You can get you a nice little Tom Brown piece for a reason, but I tell you what. I tell you what.
Listen, and now
Um,
you're getting small enough to fit it. So I definitely and so I definitely was into her shit. Like she was on my top and like the corset and it doesn't look like Tom Brown from the front. That's what I
can
really
we
loved
talk
about it.
about it? It's
Yeah.
giving like so much femininity, so much womanhood
Mm,
when you're looking at the bodice.
yeah.
But then this
But
it
even the
takes
cut
you
of
on
the
a journey.
suit,
It
right?
takes you
But
on a
mhm.
journey.
Look at that pant. I just feel like this was what I wanted to see from Tom Ford. And I
Okay,
didn't get that. I didn't
okay.
get that this year.
I'm
So,
liking. I'm talking about the hat is
everything
cocked just askew, just askew. It's not
perfect.
dead. It's just in the beat, like
Mm,
the bone strip, baby.
mm.
She stepped
Mm,
out there. I
mm, mm,
said,
mm,
"Hello,
mm, mm,
madam."
mm, 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 mm.
Okay, give me your next phase or your next line.
Okay, so while we're in that kind of look,
Okay,
I'm gonna also say, oh gosh, what is her name? It says look. Oh goodness, she's Asian. She had Chanel. Um, fuck. How do I go to this thing? I'm just gonna show you.
I saw her. She has one of those one names. Those
Yes.
one name girl. I saw her.
Similar look.
But when
Similar look.
this is where I was struggling when I was like, girl, I don't know if I can pick five. I'm gonna tell you where I was struggling because I was just like, her look is so similar to Mona. And if I had to choose between hers and Mona's, I'm going Mona.
I'm gonna choose Mona for
Okay.
sure, for sure.
Um,
But I liked her. I liked the off the shoulder. I loved the hat, like give me that hat type shit.
very pretty.
Um, and it also was even though it was black and white, because I knew a lot of people were gonna go safe. I knew they were gonna go black and white. I still was like, this is classic Chanel pearls,
I was gonna say
the
texture.
flower.
There's
Yeah,
texture. Lots of
there
texture.
was all that. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Give me
Okay.
one of yours.
Um, the first person that I saw that I was like, well, this is gonna be my number one And I was just like, I'm calling it Kerry Washington.
I know. Absolutely.
Kerry Washington, because this is so, even though it's a sheer skirt, this is
Mhm.
so pretty.
It's
This is
sexy.
so Southern woman going to church. This is the back. It was a treat from the front and the back. It was so Christian Dior.
This was one of her best
This
looks that I've ever seen.
I love that woman. So I said that to say she has had many misses on a red
She
carpet,
has.
but when my girl gets it
When
right,
she gets it right,
she
she
gets
gets it
it
fucking right.
so right.
Like, down to the shoe. But this
Girl,
shit was so sexy because
the long
the
braids,
look,
the cocked hat, the foxy brown hat, bitch.
the hair, the gloves,
Oh, the
everything about
gloves.
this look was perfect. It was perfect. Like, and the fact that the panty to match the color of it just was, everything was perfect here. I don't know what she did different this time, but whoever you had on the line, keep them on the main line every
This
single
is
time.
Jonathan Simkai. And I like a
Oh,
lot of his
and I
stuff.
think she was with him. I think she
Yep,
was
this is
like with him.
them together.
Fine ass. He fine.
Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
he fine.
He looks
Hmm.
like Chris Pine. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was when I saw her. I said, "Everybody can go home. I'm done."
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. And it was like, Dior new look, all
Dear
that
look, but Atlanta on a Easter Sunday.
on a good Sunday. Now, since we're on the new look front,
Can we talk about it? Because someone
yes,
actually did it, and
she
I thought
did.
it was Monica
Mhm.
Barbero.
Yep.
Baby, I love it.
I loved it. I
Courtney,
love
I
that.
love it. The hat, the gloves, the
The
pose. She
shoe,
even
the
did the
pump.
Dior pose.
Mhm.
She
That
did the like
foot.
when you look at the classic vintage fashion photos,
Mhm.
they do that foot that it is her me too,
Mhm.
and I'm sitting down. Baby, I love
Mhm.
it.
I
Love
loved
it.
it. The tie, all of it. It was
Oh,
perfect.
love.
She was in my honorable mention, but yes, it was definitely I love that silhouette because it just fits me perfectly. But
Paper.
I think this was the time to do that. And I'm glad that the two of them highlighted that
I
because
think
that's perfect.
the juxtaposition, right?
Hmm.
You have it in
The
its classic
femininity.
form, and
Hmm.
then you have it updated for a more feminine,
Hmm.
like the softness of the oh God. Oh,
Yeah. So good.
okay.
Um, my girl, oh gosh. Sorry, y'all. I'm really bad with names. So I have to like show Jessica.
Oh yeah, she's on mine too. Quinta
My girl,
Brunson.
Quinta. Yeah. I love
Love.
this.
She's in Sergio Hudson.
Yeah.
Sergio Hudson is, I want to say, friend of the pod. I've met him a couple times. Got to sit front row at his show last year. If I
Hmm.
walked up on him right now, he would pretend to remember who I am. He's so lovely. I absolutely love this
Hmm.
play on Pinstripes. Some other
Hmm.
people didn't do it so well. I
They
said,
didn't
baby,
do
just
it, and that is what she doing. But
that's
I guess we'll
what.
get there.
My question is, where was the iron? But we'll get there.
We'll get there. The steamer, something had to be there. Dressed by law, though, right? Am I wrong?
Was she?
I think she was.
Let me say this.
Let me Google that.
We'll go back. We'll circle back.
Yeah, but I do love how she had the Josephine Baker reference.
Love.
I thought
And
she looked
the
good.
red flower, that
Hmm.
made me think about Quick from Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights is my
Yep.
all-time favorite
Yep.
movie.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
was
I
thinking
could totally see that.
about that. And even the guys who did that look, I loved it, but I still wanted more. I just feel
Hmm.
like as a man, when it's time for formal wear, you can do this anytime. Let's
This was y'all's night to fucking shine, bro. And some of them did, right? And I got a few of them on my
we'll go
list.
back. We'll go
But
back.
like this was their time to fucking shine. And I felt like a lot of them played it safe.
Let's go ahead and address it. Let's go ahead and address it.
Okay.
I just talked on my channel how I don't believe in publicly critiquing other people's fashion,
Hmm.
and I like to ask questions. I don't want
Hmm.
to say something is good or bad. I can say what's my favorite, but I do want to ask questions. I want to know why. I have seen Usher and Coleman Domingo be dandied up on a Tuesday at noon, more than I saw them dandied up for this carpet Mind you, Coleman was a host. Coleman, where was you? Not that he looked bad.
Even in the Vogue shoot, that paisley kind of like floral
Excuse me, which I just ordered that magazine to add to the collection. That I was expecting color, I was expecting
texture.
accessories, I was expecting what we have seen Coleman Domingo do on every rec. Why did he play it safe here? Another
Mm-mm.
question I have. What the fuck was Pharrell wearing? You're a
What
host.
was he wearing? What was he picking for the girls? For the boys, everybody.
I want to say this. We love Pharrell. We got
I
questions
used to be
about,
obsessed with
honey,
that
we
man.
all had
Mm.
a Pharrell
It's a
phase.
Khalees curse.
Hello? I was gonna say we got questions about what the fuck he did to Khalees, but we have all loved Pharrell. But when he was granted this appointment
Mhm.
at Louis Vuitton,
Mm,
I
mm.
continue to question
If he was ready for this,
not that
for me.
qualified,
That's what I
qualified.
mean, like, what's yeah,
Why
like,
aren't we hiring people who are devoted students to the art? People, we're reverse engineering.
we're losing the plot
It was a thing where a person where designers became celebrities. Now y'all are reversing it, that you want the celebrity, you want the person to
to
come
become the
into the
designers.
celebrity and then become a designer. I know that there is a SCAD student, a SCAD grad, an FIT grad,
Mhm,
um, a kid who ain't went to nobody's school but grandmama taught them dandyism, taught them tailoring. Why are
mhm.
we giving these appointments to men? I'm glad that at least it's a black person, because overwhelmingly creative directors don't look like us
Or
at
mhm,
all. But
yep.
this to me was proof that, like,
Yeah.
because
I
I'm gonna say this, a legit designer knows how to dress the feminine form.
that was my problem. He did the thing that we heard about Sabrina wearing a leotard because she was short, she couldn't wear a pant because she was short.
Look at Quinta.
He's
Look at Quinta.
I was that literally was gonna be my example. Like, look at this dress, like, it elongates her. I forgot who else was on the red carpet that had a pant on, and I was like, "That's she's as short as us." Like, I don't understand what the difference is.
Tiffany came
So,
out.
that lets me know that you don't know the women's form, but that also goes into my and I have this conversation with Bryson a lot of stylists are men, right? And they don't know the women's form in a way that's, like, every day. They treat women like dolls,
Oh,
right? Like, they are
the
something to be
misogyny,
dressed up
the misogyny bleeds through.
of it all.
Misogyny
Yeah,
through. And
yeah.
I think that you have to be a certain kind of man who has an
Mhm.
appreciation
Mm.
for,
Mhm.
and Sergio Hudson. Because I'm gonna tell you one of the, and I'm gonna tell you another person, Harbison.
Mhm.
Forget Harbison dressed somebody that I have on my list. Another person who I met and interviewed, Sergio Hudson and Harbison, both of their inspo, Black women. For Harbison, he talks about his mom, his like the women in his family. You can see it in the way they dress women.
Mhm.
Like Sergio
Mhm.
talks about, like when he dressed um who was it, Sergio Hudson or was it Christopher John Rogers who dressed Michelle Obama for the inauguration in that beautiful maroon, like burgundy look? I want to say it was Sergio Hudson.
I think it was Sergio.
But Sergio, he talks about how he looked to like the Black women on TV when he was growing up. Your Diane
Mm.
Carrolls, right? Your
Mhm.
Anita Bakers. Like
Mhm.
he has always had those women who we grew up seeing as like this example of like Black womanhood, and it shows up in how they dress women. And I will never take anything
Mhm.
from Law Roach. I think that what he does with Zendaya is impeccable, but I also think Zendaya is a
Perfect.
very easy person to dress. Everything just
Very thin,
everything
very
statuesque,
thin.
everything just hangs. And to be fair,
Mhm.
not everyone can do that. Not everyone can do what he does, even with her body. But I do want to see,
Right.
can you dress someone, can you dress me? Can he dress you?
I was gonna say, can you dress me?
Hello? Could you put my mom in something? I'm curious. I'm curious. But okay,
Yeah.
next.
Yeah. And that's always my critique with male stylists is like, can you dress me? Can you dress my mom? You know, like, can you dress someone who is 60 years old and not the smallest, right? And like has had menopause and like whatever it be the case, right? So that's always my critique. But I would go next on my list, I would say is Cardi, one of my faves.
Cardi's on my list. Cardi's on my
Oh,
top 5
yeah.
favorites because she actually showed the '70s Bootsy Collins dandy.
Yes.
She showed a different decade.
Absolutely.
And
And
can we
her
talk about how
hair. Yep.
impeccably tailored that suit is?
Perfect.
I love it.
Yeah.
This also brings us to a conversation we need to have.
Perfect.
Are you ready to have this conversation?
What's that?
Contact.
Okay. So I asked you earlier, I said, hey, are color contacts back?
The girls have been easing us back into, and I feel like in 5 minutes it's gonna trickle back down, and we gonna start seeing the girls buying the color contacts from the beauty supply
From the
store,
liquor store.
from the beauty supply store, like they did back in the day.
Yeah. But see, but also, and to go back to Cardi's look, I know we're talking about color contacts, but she's also a shorty and she wore pants.
Burberry, this is Burberry, and I
Burberry had a table. Burberry had a table. They had them a little table that night. But yeah, color contacts. Listen, I wore color contacts in high school. They were gray. No one knew that they were contacts because they were the fresh looks. So they were like the blends. But they were going, I'm wearing color contacts tonight.
yeah.
I only know color contacts in my realm from um cosplay. This isn't your everyday look, right? So I was very surprised to see a few of the girls.
We're gonna see a trickle down.
Oh, for sure.
Just like how lace fronts used to just be for the theater,
Mm, mhm,
for editorial, for now the your local cashier at Dwayne Reed bust down full.
mhm,
Like
mhm.
I do think that like colored contacts for editorial, for cosplay, but I think it's gonna trickle down to everyday.
It's gonna be an everyday,
It's
for
gonna,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Lauren Hill,
Top 5.
top 5,
Top 5. And
top
I
5,
feel
top 5.
like she captured everything for me
Yep,
down to the attendant with the
umbrella
umbrella,
and the
and
bedazzled
mhm,
the ornate fan.
mhm,
Excuse me,
yep. And
she
even his accessories, like, all of this was giving me very, like, South Africa. Now, again, I'm not an expert of, like, African fashion, but this was giving me, like, this is wealth, right? I have an attendant. He got that shit on. I got this shit on. I've got on a lot of fabric. I have a fan. I'm hot, right? Like, this is giving me she showed up and showed out. I don't know who she's wearing, but this
Stella
everything
McCartney.
about this.
She's in Stella
Really?
McCartney.
Oh, and Mary J showed up like that.
Here's what upset me. Here's what upset me. That should have been impeccably
Impeccable.
tailored. Why
Impeccable.
wasn't it tailored? It looked bunchy. It looked
Bunched?
that
I
pissed
don't know.
me off so bad.
So
Why?
bad.
What
I
happened?
didn't know
That's
what was going
my
on.
question
I
for
don't know.
that. What happened?
What
Um,
happened? Yep.
okay, you give me another fave.
Um, I listen, baby, I got a whole list. Um, my girl, from Thor.
Baby, she's on mine. She's in my top 5. Tessa Thompson, she's
Mhm.
wearing Prabal Garone.
Yep.
I'm
With the
obsessed.
Andre Talley
Yes,
fan, church fan. Mhm.
Loved that little, because that is how we honor the elder.
Mhm. Yep. The
I
boot.
absolutely loved, girl, you know I live for that kind of dominatrix ass boot. This
Mhm.
was giving dominatrix, and you know I love
Even
that.
the tie. Yeah.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Absolutely love.
But you know what? She doesn't really miss for me. She
No,
rarely misses for me on the carpet.
Tessa
Very rare.
brings it every time.
Yeah.
Rarely am
I
I
think we need to
disappointed.
start talking about that, right? Like who we need to start putting in those conversations with the Rihannas. And like, oh, the Zendayas, right? Like of coming to the Met Gala and being like
And showing
the
out.
best dressed and all of
Yeah.
that. I think we need to start including more names in that conversation. And I think Tess is one of them.
I think we're doing that now.
Yeah. For sure. For sure, for sure.
We're doing it. We'll
I
lead the
think
charge.
yeah. We'll lead the
Um,
charge. We'll be the girls because I definitely feel like, we need to start saying that for sure.
I have another fave, Jasmine Tukes in
Give
Ruth
me the pics.
Carter.
Like, give me the pic.
King
See, she was in my honorable mention.
I love I love
Yeah.
she looks like Carmen
She was in
Sandiego.
Ruthie Carter, right? Yeah. Yeah.
She looks like Carmen Sandiego. I absolutely love it.
Which is absolutely, but I think for me, I saw her after I saw Zendaya and I was just like,
Is
okay.
Zendaya
And
on your
then the
fave?
twinsy,
Yeah.
no, she's
Okay.
on my honorable mention.
Okay.
She's on my
Okay.
honorable
Because of the
mention.
Taylor.
Yeah.
She's also an
The
honorable.
tailoring is
Tailoring was impeccable.
I mean, like, the tailoring was literally top to bottom. And the thing about Zendaya is she moves in frames, right? So, like, she moves in, you can catch me in a photo anywhere I stand, anywhere I move, the way she walked out onto the red carpet, the way she pulled her jacket, the way she just like that back turn. And I said,
She gets it.
bitch,
She knows how.
she
It's not
just
just what
fucking
she's wearing.
gets it. She
It's
knows
not
her
what she's
body.
wearing. She knows how to work a carpet.
And she
She
knows
knows.
her body, right?
Yeah,
Like she knows what this is my stance. This is where my arm goes. This is where everything goes. And even just when she's like turning around smiling and like she fucking gets it. And I think that she wears the clothes, right?
it all looks
So
effortless.
yeah.
It all looks
Effortless.
effortless. Mhm.
Yeah. So she's in my honorable mention just because of I really thought she could have gave me more. I really did. And I think it could be a mix of like Law styling like 8 different people this year. And again, I don't know their fucking lives, right? Like I don't know. And he did a lot of the promo for this, right? Like he did the styling for Vogue. So I don't know if because usually Zendaya is his muse and so like that's what he can pour his creativity into. I just expected more from her, even though the tailoring was I didn't hate it, but it was still like
I've seen
knowing her
her.
Met looks
We've seen her in more exciting suits.
on a TV or excuse me, on a movie red
Now you know
carpet.
what you say.
Fucking what was her shit for Dune? Excuse me? Like and that was an everyday kind of look for me. I feel like that could have been. So I don't know. I thought she could have gave me more. So she was in my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I have to give a very reluctant, because I don't see it for her, but I love the designer who I just mentioned, Mindy Kaling in Harbison Studio.
She looks
Mindy
good.
Kaling,
She looked
this
good.
is one of the
She's on my honorables.
she's never looked better. She's
Yeah.
never looked better. This was impressive, but Harbison, I'm telling you, he has a respect for the female form that
Yeah.
you just don't see these days.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked her, and I also liked how and we can kind of, I guess, talk about that, but I loved how she still paid respect to the Black dandyism and Black tailoring, because you had the gentleman, I don't know his name, but he was Indian, and it's been, like, back and forth, right, where it's like, "Oh, this is anti-Black," or, "No, this is him honoring Black dandyism in his own way." Again, I can't really speak to that because I thought he just looked impeccable, but the theme was what it was, right? So it's like, I think multiple things can be true at once, but I love how she still honored what it was supposed to be while still paying tribute to her own culture and
Well, that's
style. Yeah.
one of the tenets is
Mhm.
cultural fusion.
Mhm.
Confusion
That's why I thought he was
there.
okay, right? Where it was like the cultural fusion is there and the tailoring is impeccable. He looked fucking great. Like, everything about him looks great to me, so I again, I'm not
I
maybe
think
well versed on that.
I think that for them, it wasn't a fusion of cultures, it was just full on
His
his
own
culture.
culture.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah,
because for me, I looked at it like, this is giving me Indian dandyism,
and I
but
was
again, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a
I
I was quiet on the timeline. I said, "Hey, well, this ain't my fight.
because here's what
I ain't got no skin in the game."
you know what I appreciate about us? When we don't know enough about a topic, we shut the fuck up.
I shut
Moving
up.
right along.
I shut the fuck up. So, okay, then I've got I love Zach Posen, bitch.
We do
I
love
love
that cousin.
Yeah, I loved him. I love that he did that, Gap look. I forgot what the actress's name
Laura
is.
Harrier, she's on my list as well. When
Oh,
I tell you my love of a wide leg pant,
mm,
and this is a palazzo pant. Like this is
and perfect.
I'm
The
obsessed.
fucking sleeves, the cut of the bodice of
It's
that,
so
like, corset top,
romantic.
so romantic. The
It's not,
fucking Gap.
I'm gonna tell you
The Gap.
who surprised the shit out of me. That's one of my favorites. Surprised the shit out of me. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Fucking
Tom.
killed it. And
Tom.
I wasn't expecting her to I don't know, but this is so perfect.
She had me last year too, I think. Was that her?
I
I
can't
feel like
remember.
it was either that or the Oscars. I can't remember, but she did a recent a red carpet where she had me again, and I think
Okay,
it was the Met last year.
okay.
And this looks like her to me. Like,
She
this is her.
yes.
This is
Yeah.
her. Like, this is her look. This is her bag. She got it. You know who surprised the fuck out of me? That rapper from Chicago, Chance.
Oh, I didn't like it, baby.
You didn't like it.
I
I liked it. I loved it. Yeah. I love that. Also, I was like, "What you doing there?"
tell me what you like about it.
I like the layering. I love that he had on, like, a leather vest underneath, a seemingly regular ass suit.
Okay.
I love a good texture mix.
Mhm.
I love the hat. I love the color. I didn't love the shoes. But again, I think that that just goes to, like, me. I don't think that men get their shoes right in ever, when it comes to, like, when they dress up. But I would have put a black shoe on him and it would have been perfect for me. But I loved the fit of this. I love the way he walked on the red carpet with it. Um, I just love when men wear clothes or people wear clothes, right? Like, and the clothes don't wear them. And so I
Okay.
think that that's what he gave me. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair. Yeah.
I'll give you another person who surprised the shit out of me. Joey King,
Mhm.
Mew Mew.
Good. Really good.
I didn't know that people disliked her, and I'm not sure why people dislike
I
her,
didn't
and
know what was going on.
I don't know if we're supposed to dislike her. So if she been doing some shit that we ain't supposed to be on board with, we don't know nothing about it, but she killed this look.
Oh, I
This
had no
is
idea.
stunning.
So one of the people tweeted, like, my favorite whites on the red carpet, and it was like all the white looks, and then they put her in it.
Uh, I
But
was
it's
really surprised by how well this was done.
this
The
was
mix
perfect.
patterns, we
Mm,
texture, we
color,
color, everything is
everything.
there. Oh, I love it.
Her nails. I mean, everything was there. She did the dandyism right. I don't know who styled her. But I do feel like they got everything right.
They got it right.
Like,
I will
people
say,
were pissed that she got it right so well.
yeah, let me say this. Hair wise, because that day
No.
it was a bit humid. I think
And it was rainy, right?
yeah,
It
it
was
was
rainy?
raining and it was
Yeah.
a little bit I think that a sleek situation would have worked,
Sleek
especially because
pony.
there's so much going on. I think
Mhm.
that a sleek or even if they had waved and smoothed down, right?
And so you could see that neck, cause
Thank you.
she
There's
has,
a
like, a turtleneck up under there or something.
right. And so I
Yeah.
kind of want you know how I
Yeah.
feel like if there's
Baby, if there's
I
a neck,
am
I wanna see that neck.
babe, I am
I
so
wanna
in
see it.
favor of swept up or moved or
Mhm.
sleek hair when you have a busy top situation.
Mhm.
That was a sleeper hit for me and one of my faves.
Mhm. Absolutely. I agree. Mine was okay, again, sorry, y'all. My girl in Burberry who had the white husband.
Yes. Um, Jodie
I don't know her name.
Turner-Smith in
Gorgeous.
Burberry, stunning.
Stunning.
Let me tell you, she looks
Who's
like
stunning?
she runs a brothel, and she don't take no shit, and she bootleg liquor on the side, and she run
Baby.
numbers on Sundays.
And also, like, I can pull up to Bridgerton and shut all this shit down. Now what?
Hello? Because I'm not the placement of the hats is what's getting me. Stunning. Stunning. Love
The
it.
braided hat, the mixed texture. You know, I love a same material down to the motherfucking shoe. I love everything about that. I love the like kind of peplum hip there. I thought she looked great. I think anybody else would have worn this and looked heavy.
Mhm.
But I think she looked stunning and she walked the carpet like it was not heavy at all. So she was definitely she was actually one of my top fives.
Can I tell you my number one? And I
Mm.
haven't seen enough people talk about her. My number one, my favorite, Lupita.
Gorgeous. And then the
Lupita.
zoom in on that motherfucking suit, please, because
Oh my
it's
God.
textured. It's textured.
She got
Yep.
everything right. We're talking about from a monochrome, especially because this
Mhm.
she won that Oscar. She's in this color. This is her
Mhm.
color, Lupita blue. I want it trademark, just like Jay-Z blue, Tiffany's blue, Lupita blue.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
Chanel does not always move me, to be very
Yes.
honest.
Mhm.
This moved me. Seeing it in motion, the little
Yes.
hat, this is my
The fanning of the this was a Chanel commercial.
this was
This
pretty.
was a commercial. This was
This was
gorgeous.
Courtney, this was
Yeah.
pretty. We can
This
be
was
on
gorgeous.
scene, we can make a statement, and we could just be
Mhm. And the fucking hat.
the
Can
fucking
you even?
bitch.
So Chanel did it for me this year.
You've
She did it for me this year.
been fucking with Chanel this year.
Yeah.
Lupita was my number one. Lupita was number
Yeah.
one. Uh-huh.
I love her eyebrows. I love
The
everything.
bedazzled eyebrow.
Everything
I
was
just
good.
want to run through a couple of guys who are on
Yeah.
honorable mention. Miles Chamley Watson, who I believe is a fencer, and I partied with him
Oh.
a bit
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah.
I really liked it. He's a regular on the red carpet. I believe he's an Olympic level fencer, if he's who I'm thinking about. Nikki and I
Mhm.
partied with him randomly at there is a company that makes like mugs and stuff called Corksicle. And
Mhm. Yep.
they had a party where Questlove DJ'd and he was the
Mhm.
host, and it was a good time. We had a twirl.
They
Um,
had a twirl.
we had a twirl. I also really enjoyed Caleb McLaughlin in Dior.
Mhm.
Seeing that
Mhm.
kid grow up is the joy of my life.
Mhm.
Um, who is this? Oh, I can't forget Tremel Tillman from Severance. This gentleman.
Oh, the one I can't see it, but I saw. Yeah, 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 yeah. I
I
loved that.
love.
I love
I
that. Did you
love
see the
the
video
big
of him
flower.
winking, bitch?
Bitch, I'll
I
write
said,
some smut about
oh.
that.
I said,
Don't do
oh.
that. But you know he don't go to our church.
I know he doesn't. He
And
couldn't.
this
He's
and
gorgeous. I
that's
mean,
how
that's
you
usually
know
how it
he's
goes.
charming and he's gorgeous and he can dress. Stunning.
So if we're talking about guys,
Okay, go ahead.
one of my
'Cause
faves,
I want to know what you think about one.
the Asian man.
I know how much you love him, and I said Courtney gonna put him on her face.
I
I
did. I'm
knew
sorry.
it. No, I knew it. And I look, I said I can omit him because I know my girl, and she gonna put him on.
This one too.
I was literally about to ask you. That's I wanted to know what you thought about the hot
Yes,
freak. I love
loved it.
Andrew Scott. I would have
Loved it.
never thought to put those colors together, and that
Mm-mm.
shoe
And
is
that shoe.
perfect.
I would have never thought
I
that.
would have never thought to put them together.
I loved all of that. Loved the colors, loved the textures, loved it. I thought it was great. Great tailoring. You know, I love that pant on men. I want to see more of it. But apparently, like from a historical standpoint, those were like work pants.
The higher waist.
Right. The
And
higher waist
because
was.
if you're doing manual labor, you don't want to
Hmm.
get caught
Hmm.
on, so it fit closer to the body. Yep. Uh huh.
Yep.
Hmm.
Another one of my faves. This one
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, he's another one that I don't think people are talking about enough. Brian
on the red
Tyree
carpet.
Henry can do no wrong. First of all, the skin is
Mm.
beautiful. The skin is
Hmm.
beautiful. I've listened to interviews of him. he's charming, he's smart,
Mhm.
he's
Mhm.
entertaining, he's everything. And this is not the first time that he has showed up and showed out because
Especially for the Met. Last year?
last year, he I love him. I love him. I think that he's a doll. I want to see I would watch him. I would watch Brian Tyree Henry read the warning on the inside of a Tampax box.
Please.
I would watch him go through a Cheesecake Factory menu.
Here's the thing. Everything about this is stunning.
But the food,
Stunning.
bitch,
Everything. And again, paying homage to culture, the luxuriousness and the opulence of having so much fabric draped around him,
Andre Leon
right?
Talley. It's the Andre Leon Talley of
Yep.
the
Yep.
homage. He was
Paying the
talking about
hom
this
yep.
beautiful deep red.
Mhm.
God.
Gorgeous. Everything is gorgeous.
And it came
And
out
then
so well with his skin. Oh, oh.
gorgeous. And then these 2 gents, specifically the one on
I
the
knew that you get
left.
that Sergio.
Yep. So so this tech joint who he's with,
Okay.
so apparently on the jacket is the inside of a computer, like the computer mainframe.
Love. I have them as my
Mhm.
favorites.
Yep.
Stunning
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
pink is my favorite color, but
Yeah.
from all of my friends being so gothic, I've really gotten into, um, like, is it like dark florals? So I've seen like a
Like
lot of like wall
dark romance.
prints and stuff
Yeah.
where there's pink with like deep, deep
Mhm.
greens and navies. And I would have never thought to do that blazer with
Mhm.
that pink. And it's stunning. And Sergio has
Yeah.
such a beautiful face.
So cute.
He is so cute.
He's so cute.
And speaking of cutie patooties, George Lucas
My Lucases.
and his
Bro,
can we talk about his gorgeous head of hair?
always, like, never going bald. It's always been like that. They are so fucking cute,
They're
Jessica,
so
like, they're
cute
so cute, and,
for
like, the way that they've been married for
100
eons, bitch. Yeah,
years. They're
and
so
finding
cute.
out that he was married to a black woman, and I know it's, like, so cliche to, like, find out anyone's married to a black woman, but it's just because we deserve the love that we don't get, and, like, to see that someone of, like, such high quality of, like, work and is like, "No, this is the love of my life," and, like, this you know what I mean? Like, and the way that he honors her in, like, interviews and things like that, it just makes me so happy. They're just
Oh,
so
it makes
cute.
me so
I love
happy.
them. Yeah.
I wasn't aware. I wasn't familiar with his game,
Mhm.
and I am now. Those are some
Mhm.
cute patooties.
That's why his hair look
Um,
like that.
hello. That is taking care of each other around here.
Right.
Jeremy O. Harris in Belmont. I know that he is a controversial, problematic figure, but I do have to admit that this was a very spot on time period piece. Like, look,
Yeah, let me see it.
you saw him.
Mhm.
You saw that.
Yes, he looked I love that.
I know that
Because
people have very strong feelings. I don't know enough about the slave play to have an opinion. I didn't see it.
Mhm.
I,
Me either. Yeah.
but I credit where credit is due. Stunning.
Yeah.
Um,
Stunning.
what's the guy
Yeah.
from the clips? I really liked his look.
Um,
His
uh,
name fell out of my head.
Pusha.
Pusha
Pusha.
T was because
Honorable mention.
let me tell you something. He gonna take every opportunity that he can to bring cocaine into the conversation, and I
Give
feel
me a
like
little
these
give me a
niggas
little
don't look
dust.
like
Give me a
cocaine,
little
and it's
dust.
like, baby, we get it. So
We got it.
honorable mention.
I do say, and I said this on Twitter, I would have liked to have seen him cinch that waist.
There,
I would have liked to have seen a little shape there. And I get it. He's a hood nigga. Like he still wears braids in 2025. So I'm expecting a lot.
is that
But
Burberry?
I would it's Burberry.
Yeah,
So Pharrell styled him. So Pharrell gets men
Pharrell did
to
Burberry as
me.
well.
Or excuse me, not Burberry. That was actually Louis Vuitton.
That
That
was
was Louis
Louis.
Vuitton.
Okay, okay.
Mhm. And so I think that Pharrell gets men. Now, what do you have on was Future for me? Um, what the hell are we doing? Uh, I was shocked, honestly. One, what are you doing there? Two, okay, I understand what you're doing there because the theme is dandy and we want
He
like
be
more
there.
black men
He
here.
be there. He be there. This was his first time. Let me say this. I take a huge amount of pride in being a girl from Atlanta, from the real Atlanta, from old Atlanta. Okay, huge amount of
Mhm.
pride. I wanted to see Andre 3000 come in there with the South Got Something to Say. I wanted him to say, "You dressed like that my whole life,
My whole
and
life.
then today you came in here camp with wearing music on your back." And that makes sense for camp. But where
Right.
was the Andre 3000 that I grew?
From my early
Excuse me,
2000s,
can I show you my toaster?
1990s.
My sister in Christ. Hello? I am a lifelong
Mhm.
outcast man. Hello? This
Mhm.
who I was expecting to see. Where was this?
Right. Right.
That
No, I agree.
and I
I
want to
agree.
know why. I want to know why, and I'm curious if
And it didn't Pharrell do him no, he was wearing Burberry.
I'm
He was wearing
curious
Burberry.
if Andre
And
feels
I
like
think what's the name did him too. I think Law did him as well.
here's what I want to think. I want to think that maybe he views that as a past version of himself. And I think that, especially because he keeps making music so separate from rap, I feel like he wants to, like he said that he doesn't feel like people want to hear what he has to say. But one of my favorite verses from him came later in his career on Sleepy Brown has a song called Can't Wait. I think it's on the Barbershop
I can't
soundtrack.
wait. I can't wait. Yeah.
The way that he's
He
talking about women in that song, I want to know how you feel now. And it feels like he wants to depart from this past version of himself. And I respect that. But fuck, I was disappointed.
well, so the look is actually his new album cover,
Right.
right? And so I think that that was like the whole
Baby, you could have wore that to the after party.
I know. Yeah, I agree. I also wonder if he's just like, I've done that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
I've
saying.
done
That's
that.
old hat for him.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he's no longer in the hey y'all
He's
or
so
the
fine.
hello, gonna be fine my whole
So
life.
fine.
Can I tell you
Mm.
who didn't disappoint, bitch? Oh, hold on. Before we move on. So I felt like Atlanta did not show up the way Atlanta
No,
coulda, shoulda, woulda
should have been.
showed up.
Hmm.
I,
This
you
was your
know
time.
what?
Again, this was your time to shine.
Prayer circle for Future. Not future, Future. Prayer circle.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because Future looked like what he been putting them women through.
Good. 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 He looked crazy. I'm sorry. I know you don't like to talk about people and like what they be wearing. So I'll do it.
I will
He
ask
looked
questions.
insane.
I will ask questions. Why this hair? Why this ensemble? Why this bag?
What a bag. Why was the bag there?
You
You know
don't
what it
need to
is?
carry around racks of money at an event that you were invited to because someone else has hosted. That means someone else has footed the bill. You don't need no money here, so you don't need to stunt like that. The
And
stunt would have
apparently the
been
food ain't even gonna be like that.
my
Like,
sister
what
in
you
Christ. My sister in
doing?
Christ. The stunt would have been you showing the fuck up and showing the fuck out for Atlanta.
Here's the thing too. People don't know that Future has like the body enough to wear not a sample size. So he's not what's his name? He's not offset,
Let me say this:
but
he's
he
a
has the
sturdy.
body.
That's a sturdy man, and I want to see it.
He has the body and he's
I would like to see
six
it,
foot something.
and we want to see it.
And I want to see it tailored to the gods. I want to see you put some shit on. I want to see you put it on.
You know what I would have liked? I'm gonna say what I
Mm,
would have liked.
tell me, babe.
I would have liked a little Tom Brown, but the shorts. I want to see them thighs.
Ooh.
I want to
With
see
a
how
little
sturdy
sock.
you are, baby.
Ooh, with a little sock.
Baby,
Oh God. Oh God. See,
hello.
yeah. Yeah. Give
Who
me a
didn't
shoulder
let
a
us
little bit.
down? Can I tell you who didn't let us down? Jameson Idris.
And I
The
don't
boys
like
in red.
how
The boys in red showed up. The boys in
they
red
did.
showed up.
And I don't like how
You know when I first do my hair, it looked like a wig. So I
give me
be
that body, babe. No, what I don't like is how they didn't give us the F-150. So, okay, so did you see he came
I
in
saw
on the car?
I saw the whole thing.
Why didn't they give us that? Like, why didn't y'all play that up? Like, I wish I would have seen that before the Met because Oh my god, today. It's also interesting because of the lore. I think they were
Cute.
pretty honorable mentioned for
You
what
know,
they
that
had
was
on too.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting, so I'll tell you what I was expecting from the boys. I was expecting Tom Ford to give me more. And where
Ooh,
was
Tom
Ralph
Ford.
Lauren? Tom Ford dressed Madonna,
Who
and
didn't
he
look bad?
dressed she didn't look bad, but the tailoring could have been better.
I'll give you that.
He also dressed this very dark skinned man that was fucking gorgeous, but
Stormzy.
huh?
Stormzy?
I think that's his name. Again,
Real
I
quick
girl, I
Google,
don't know.
because
Okay.
I wanna know what your thoughts were on Marc Jacobs.
Okay. So he is in my honorable mention. His husband is dandied out. And
Bitch,
his husband fine. Mark Jacobs is
bitch,
fine, bitch.
bitch. Let
But
me
the
put you
husband
to
is
whatever
dandied
maintenance,
down.
whatever zhuzh he getting,
Mhm.
put me down for it
Mhm.
after 40.
Um,
I love that he's gotten into nails.
yeah. They're so cute. I love Marc Jacobs. He's literally one of my favorite designers. Loved what he did with what's her name? With Doja Cat. I love that look.
You liked that
Um,
look.
I did. And I said, and I even said, I was like, girls, I'm sorry, I love this.
No, and when
Before
you
I knew it was Mark, I
here's
loved it.
what, I thought it was Vivian Westwood, and I think we talked about that on
Mhm.
Twitter. I thought
Mhm.
it was Vivian Westwood, and it was, you know me, that wasn't my tea. But I fully honor and respect and understand why it was yours.
Yeah.
I want to also honorable mention Coleman Domingo's partner, Raul Domingo.
Yes. I did love that too. Very Prince. Very I wish I again the shoe is what I didn't
She,
like. I didn't like that black
not great.
shoe.
She
I
was
didn't
not
like
great.
that. It
In
wasn't
terms
good.
of, okay, separate category,
Mhm.
camp takes on dandyism. I loved Jenna Ortega and I loved Demi Moore.
Uh, you love Demi Moore. She was on my What She
Demi
Got
Moore
On.
a tie. So fun. I said, in terms of camp, a camp
I know, I
take
heard
on
you.
dandyism,
I heard you.
not saying that this wasn't on my top five. This wasn't
No,
even
no,
on my favorites.
no.
But in terms
Yeah.
of, you know what this is? This is, that's fun. I
I
think
guess
it's
because
fun.
I think because I watched, and it was Tom Brown, which I thought was interesting. I watched her walk out, and I
Okay.
was like, I don't like this.
Okay. I'm not saying,
Um,
let me say this. I just like how from a costume perspective, and I have
yeah,
fun, and I'm not taking myself too seriously. For
yeah.
that reason, I enjoy it. Jenna Ortega, I
Jenna
fucking
Ortega,
love.
loved that. That was my top 5.
I
I put that in my
fucking
top 5.
love because
Yeah.
she's a fashion girly. I want
She's a
her
fashion girl,
name.
and
I
she's
want
thin.
her name in more conversations, and I don't think that Haley Steinfeld from Sinners. I
Mhm.
have been watching her on red carpets for a while. She wasn't here, but those are two girls who people need to watch.
She'll need to.
'Cause
And,
remember her? We talked about her press run for
mhm.
Wednesday.
Yep,
She showed up and showed the fuck
she showed
out.
up. And who was the girl last year, who I loved? Oh, fuck, I don't remember her name. Brown skin girl. She had the, like, bodice looked like a body piece, and then, like, the skirt was, kinda flowy. Oh gosh. Oh
Oh,
god, I
you're
don't
gonna
know
have
her
to do a
name.
Google on that one.
Imma have to Google, but shit, she should have been there. Was curious as to why Michael B. Jordan wasn't there coming off of
I
Sinners.
have questions as well. I have
Yeah, I
questions as
was curious
well.
about that, especially because of the way that Ruth did. I just think that Ruth could have also did something with, Ryan. I knew he wasn't going to get dressed up. He doesn't seem like that type of guy, right? He's super
He
sweet.
Oakland, you know what I'm
He's super
saying?
sweet. He's
Yeah.
not gonna give it to you, but I really would have liked to have seen him give me something. Ooh,
And
so
Shuti,
I wish who?
and Shuti Gatwa, he's wearing Oswald Boateng. This is one of my favorite people in life.
Loved it.
He
Loved
is
it.
one of my
Tailoring.
favorite. He is one of my favorite people. So me and Nikki have been obsessed with him for a while because we love sex education.
Yes, sex educator. Yep.
So good. But he
Hmm.
talks about how when he poses, he intentionally places his foot or his thigh just so, because he's a dancer, and putting your foot just so, it makes this inner thigh muscle pop, which makes
Mhm.
the tailoring of your pants more
Mhm. Even stick
accented.
up.
And
Mhm.
I watched him say that years ago. So to me, this is a person who's thoughtful. Do you
Who
know what I
embodies
mean?
that.
You are
He also
thoughtful. He's so beautiful. Come
the
on.
skin,
He's
the skin you're
beautiful.
in. He's
And
gorgeous.
he was doing blonde for a minute.
I remember.
And
Yep.
oh, he's such a doll. He's such a doll.
Now, if I may, Janelle Monáe.
Baby, we got ESPN. We got ESPN because I was just about to ask. Let me say this. This is so fun. This is so did she not do this? It was a boob
This is
thing.
her
She had a
bag.
thing. She had a
This is
boob
her bag.
thing. She has what? Let me do a quick Google. Let me just.
Okay.
I'm convinced that I've seen her in this or something similar before, and I was like, "Am I crazy?" She wore something extremely similar before. Here
I
it is.
think it was
Oh,
some
I
yeah.
wasn't crazy.
No, you're not.
This.
Yes, that
And
was
so when
yes.
I saw her, I said, "Have I not seen her in this before?"
Now, so this is the cape that she takes off. So
Yeah,
the
I know. I
bag,
saw the whole
right.
thing, and I think that's so fun.
Yeah. I loved it. I love that the actual eyepiece is a clock,
I
like
like it. I
but I
like
think this
it.
is her, Jess. I feel like
It
this is
is.
her.
It
Like, I feel
is.
like the same looks. I feel like she's gonna give us the same differentiation of a same
Okay.
look.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I
wanna
think that's
know
just yeah.
I wanna know what you thought about Sarah Snook
Okay, I'm gonna have to look.
from Succession.
Loved it. The one thing I didn't love, she's actually in she's in my favorites list. The only thing I did not love was the pant.
Okay. What did you want?
Up under there,
Okay.
was she so Marc Jacobs did the same thing with Tracy for me and someone else that he dressed. You know that like, okay, you have a butt and you get that little like pouch in the
I know
front.
exactly what you're saying because I have a pair of pants I'm thinking about right now that I need to
I
just
do that.
I need
All
to
of my pants are like that. A lot of them are like that.
and what are we supposed to do about it? I wanna know what did you think about
But
Tracy's look?
unless they're denim, then it's like fine. But like a pant, do you know what I'm saying? Like
I
it's gonna do that.
I
It's
know.
gonna do it.
Because I
It's
was
gonna do
even at
it.
my tailor and I said, "What do we do?" He said, "Well, mommy, that's just your body."
Well, change it. Fix it.
He was like, "No, it
Fix
looks good.
it.
It's good. You get yeah."
Change the body. I don't know what you want me to do. Like this is it.
He was like, he genuinely was like, "What you want me to do? That's your body."
Baby, tailor the body then. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but I was just like, I can't take it. So Tracy, I had to sleep on it. I had to
I'm
sleep on it.
can I say that I'm still sleeping on it? And
Okay.
Tracy Ellis Ross is the patron saint of my life.
I
I
know.
never want to meet her because I couldn't handle it not being an absolutely perfect interaction. I was
Yeah.
steps away from her at a fashion show, like, was it last year? And I said, nope, because I didn't want to risk it. If she didn't meet me and fall in love with me, my ego wasn't gonna be able to handle it.
Yeah. No.
And I love
You would have been bounced back.
style. I would have never
Yeah.
recovered. I would
You
have
would have
never
never recovered.
financially recovered. Courtney.
No.
No.
Honorable mention for me. I don't know who this white woman is,
I don't think I
but
saw that white woman.
yeah, she was really and what I hate about Vogue is that when you save them, it doesn't tell you who it
Yeah,
is.
I
Okay.
screenshot
Oh,
it, so I got money.
Brianna Stewart.
Okay.
Brianna Stewart.
Who did?
Um,
What she
no
do?
idea.
Look, what her
Absolutely no
people
idea.
can I give you an honorable mention?
Give me.
Hammam, who you thought was, Iman.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. Yes. So I knew what her name was, but I was cracking up at the
No, I
person
knew.
in the audience talking about right, like
Yeah,
that's not Iman. I said,
yeah.
what? It is. Loved her.
Yeah.
Wearing the fucking
Magda,
Margiela. Yep.
Magda
Uh,
Butrip.
love
I'm not a
those.
tabby. I'm not a tabby girl.
It's a
I'm
good
not a
tabby.
tabby girl, but I like the
The
tabby.
Christian Louboutin and the Margiela collection
They
is really
might,
good.
they
That's a
might,
good one.
they might get a
That's
coin
a
for
good one.
me. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
That's a good one.
I also really enjoyed Hunter Schafer in Prada.
Hunter Schafer.
Right here.
Yep. Okay. I I didn't love.
Tell me why.
She looked like she was going fencing, and I
Okay.
just didn't it
It
just
wasn't
didn't
festive
hit.
enough.
It wasn't festive enough. I think
Okay.
that the black and white was what threw me off, and I will say that Zoe Saldana also threw me off because it was black and white. If it would first of all, her, but if it would have
I'm
been,
gonna say
like,
you next year.
gray,
I'm gonna say
if
you
it would
next
have been, like, gray or something, I don't
because
know.
we give credit where credit is due.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
for
tell you
sure.
what fucked me up with Zoe's look. That wig.
That's what I'm saying, like, I just don't think the back of the again, Tom Brown, the back of the gown, stunning. The details, stunning. The hip with the skirt, loved it. But it was just like, "What are we doing here?
Okay,
What
I
do we
just
got going
have two
on?"
more people that I need your thoughts on.
Okay.
I need to know what you thought about Usher Raymond's wife, Jennifer. I can't say that middle word
She's in my fave.
in my
She's in my
martini.
faves.
I
Yep,
really liked it. I loved it a lot.
me too.
Um, Perfect combination of mask and femme. Absolutely
Mhm,
loved. I
mhm.
also I need to know what you thought about Taraji. I need to know.
Oh, I hated it.
Why the shoe? Why that shoe? Can we swap it?
Why the shoe?
Why that
She's
mule?
in my "What was that?"
And why this blonde piece? I want to love this, but it's not quite curling over for me.
The brooch in the center, there's, like, her jacket is frayed. I don't know, there's it's just a lot going on with the look, and the tailoring is not, um, tailored enough for me to understand what's going on.
I want to show you
Do you
this.
know what I mean?
I do. I do. I
Yeah.
want to show you this collection of ladies, and I want to know your thoughts. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Did you see this collection of ladies?
Okay, I did see that. I didn't think it fit the theme, but I liked them.
Right? That's honorable
Yeah,
mention for me. Um,
yeah,
I
I liked
also
them.
want to give an honorable mention to Andra Day and Jerome Lamar. I the
Yes,
only
she's my honorable mention too.
I
She
like her
actually might be in my faves.
I like
Yeah.
her so much. She used
Mhm.
to before she switched up. I don't know if she still does music, but when she still did music, her aesthetic was she was very pin up was her aesthetic.
Mm. Mhm.
And
And you know I love that.
girl, go back and look at some of her old stuff. Like I was
Okay.
I love people that commit to a time period, very Dita Von Teese.
Me too.
And she
Me
was
too.
very Dita Von Teese. So I'm
Yeah.
happy that she's still I still like
Still
what
giving us
she's
looks.
still giving us
Still
things.
giving us looks.
Yeah.
And
I
then so are we ready to go into what was this? Are you ready? Do you have some more?
I'm
Give
ready
me
for you. I'm ready
No,
to
no.
ask
What
now.
was the one that you was about to say? Give it to me.
I feel like he's gonna be on your list, but I wanted to know what you thought about Lakeith Stanfield,
I don't have him on any list.
right? I wanted to
I just was
really
like,
love it,
okay,
but it was like, you know what it was?
okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
via text with us. Oh, no, period.
Yeah. Oh, I probably would have put an exclamation point. Oh,
You would have sarcastically
okay. Yeah.
heavy sarcasm on the exclamation point. Okay, I'm ready. Give me your what was it?
Okay. Should I speed run or what are you thinking?
We're going a bit long. Let's fill
Okay.
the vibes.
Let's
Go,
speed run.
go.
Okay. Dapper Dan.
We've seen him give us so much more. Keep going. What was it? What happened?
Um, my girl, Kiki Palmer. Halle Berry. Taraji, we said that already. Mary J. Blige.
The
You gonna be drunk.
the tailoring.
The
The
Taylor
tailoring
was
wasn't
terrible.
here.
Terrible. Terrible. Um,
And she and here's
Shakari,
what? Mary always looked like she don't want to be where she at, and I get you got a lawsuit going with your good girlfriend, and they got to be
with your good
stressful.
Judy. Girl, I'm shocked that they are going through it like that. Like,
You
that's her good
good. That's your
Judy.
good Judy. But go ahead, go ahead.
Anyway, okay.
Sorry, I
Shakari.
the theme wasn't even in the room. Didn't even pitch the bitch. Didn't even
Oh,
pitch the bitch with the theme.
I mean, her fronts look great, like her grills look great, but I don't understand what's going on here. Swiss and Alicia.
They were on my honorable mention. When I
No,
first saw
okay.
them, let me say, when I saw them in motion, I said, "This is really fun." I
This
think
is
it's cool
camp.
for, I went to a Montclair fashion show a few years ago.
Mm. Mhm.
They make some bitch,
They
let me
make
tell
some good
you something,
pieces.
beyond the coats, hello?
So they make some good pieces. Okay, so I what I told my stream on Monday was that I would have loved this if Alicia got rid of the headpiece
Okay,
and if Swiss okay, so if Alicia would have worn the headpiece, I wish it would have been the do-rag. Swiss should have either worn the sunglasses or the do-rag. It
okay,
did need both.
okay.
But I also think that if she I don't know. I loved the shawl kind of thing that she wore, but something here was just like, there's
It
too
didn't
much
quite
going
curl
on.
over.
It didn't quite curl over.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus.
I didn't even see her there.
Yeah. Somebody said, as someone who used to be of the
I
Black
did see
Brigade,
that comment.
you missed.
I did see
Gail
that
King.
comment.
Gail
Girl,
King. Girl, she ain't been the same since she
let
went
me
up in
say something.
space.
They better send somebody around there to check on her. Send somebody around
Something's
there
going
to check
on.
on.
It
Okay, yeah.
does look like that, right? Okay.
Miley is giving
Um,
Matrix realness. Underworld, if this because you know I love the
but
Underworld
she's
movies.
worn this before. She's worn this. We've seen this from her. And for Dandy, Miley used to be for the
Yeah.
girls.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
don't know. Um, my good girlfriend, Meg the Stallion.
Let me say something because you know this is a Megan Thee Stallion household.
Stan account.
And I don't believe in standing nobody, but my
I
niece
love her.
and the Lord, okay? The hair, the hair fucking spectacular. Can
The
we talk
makeup,
about
the
the
face
hair,
was
the
everything
makeup,
was
everything here up from the neck down, it was just pretty. And
awful.
Meg, you're pretty
Mm,
all the time. Her cosplay, when she did the suit and the cosplay, baby
mm-mm.
girl, do you know
Yeah.
what I would give to see you in a tailored suit again? Especially because she has a line from one of her earlier mixtapes about a suit. And
Hmm.
I just really wanted, I was hoping for that. You can be pretty any day. You're pretty
Any day.
every day. You
Any
are
day.
pretty every day. Give me something
And
more
it's
interesting.
and I also feel like I just don't think her stylist likes her.
I don't
And
think she's
because
found the right person
I
yet.
found
Because
yeah, because
again,
remember
different kind
it's
of
the
body.
and it's also like I feel like this was too small,
When you see
right?
it
Like it
from
felt
the
like
side, the
yeah.
boobs were, it was giving Real Housewives
Yeah.
of Potomac.
Yeah.
The boobs
Um
fished. Michael Kors.
it wasn't given I just didn't like it. Venus Williams
I don't even want to talk about it.
and Serena.
I,
Mm-mm.
I
Both
don't.
of them. And we won't. Simone Biles. Her man look good.
She let that man outdress her. She said, "This gonna be the final nail in the coffin of y'all talking about me and my man. I'm gonna let him outdress me." You know what? I overindulge. I pour it too heavy.
Oh,
Let's wrap
good for you,
this up,
babe. We're
bitch.
gonna wrap. We're gonna wrap. We're gonna wrap. Okay. And then my last, Savannah. I know people, you know why you didn't pour too heavy, girl. You've been drinking off of these. What was they wearing? Why did they do that? Why?
I put together a collage of Savannah's best suit moments because she can
Hmm.
wear Savannah. First of all, let me say this.
She's gorgeous.
I go up for Savannah.
Gorgeous.
Savannah reminds me of the prettiest girl in my middle school. Like the girls who I looked up to when I was little and
Hmm.
like, you know, like in the neighborhood, the
Hmm.
girls who is like, I'm be like that when I get older. Like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
She looks like the prettiest black girls I've ever
Hmm.
seen when I was growing up. It's
Hmm.
not it's not manufactured. It's this very
Mm.
authentic black, and I'm not saying she hasn't had a little zhuzh. I don't know, but she
We
just
don't know.
has this approachable. This is a beautiful Black woman. I
Mhm.
go up for Savannah.
Very around the way girl. Very around the
Mhm.
way.
You know what I mean? In this
Very
way that
Akron,
it's
Ohio
just
girl.
this is
Mhm.
like she your big cousin and you can't wait to show her off when she come in town. Imma take her to
Right.
Gate Town, say, "Back, you know, this my cousin." Imma see
Right.
how she can I
Sh
get.
I love her. I love her bad as a mom, as
This
a wife, as a woman.
I wanted
But
to see
this
Hanifa really show the DNA of the Hanifa brand.
with this
And that's what I'll
Jessica.
say is I think that this was a missed opportunity for a brand
Mhm.
that I love, that I support, I put my styling clients in, I wear, I
Mhm.
recommend to
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
She has such a specific aesthetic already that we're so early, relatively early in her career.
Yeah. I it looked too much like something else, like Tom Brown for me. And I think that's what bothered me because, like you said, Hanifa has her own look
The
and
vibes
style, and
are there.
maybe because we know it because we're Black women. I don't know. But did you see the Vogue, like get ready with me type thing? She had a hat. The hat was there, but it couldn't be askew. And I think that that's probably why she didn't wear it. But the hat would have really set this off for me.
Can it? Figure it out. I'm gonna tell you what else
That's what I said, and I think but that's a stylist. That is a stylist skill issue
okay.
when you can't
But
do that.
the
Yeah,
color
the
of the
bodice, the
bodice,
bodice. Yeah, it was off. It was off.
I want people to understand when you do mesh,
Mhm.
if we're not going to match the skin, if it's not
The
going to be
skin tone.
sheer enough,
Mhm.
we have to match the skin.
Yeah,
We don't go that kind of nude on Black girls. This
right.
made me think about Beyonce,
And
where
we
she said, "I'm a
love.
Black girl. We don't do blue lights on Black girls." That's what that made me think about.
Mhm. And and we love a Harry Potter moment. Right? Like give me a little tie, a short tie. I love a short tie, bitch. Like I
We've
love
met.
a short tie.
We've met.
I everything from here up did it for me. Savannah's hair, I loved how long it was. I love how bone straight that shit was.
The sleekness of the things were
The
there,
blondness,
girl.
the side part,
Can we talk about this? Her
the makeup.
blonde matches her
Every
skin
time.
so
Every
well.
time. Every time. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted
And
more.
let me say this, and shouts out to her for saying, "I'm gonna work with a Black designer," because she can afford anything,
Hanifa, first of all.
you know?
Hanifa,
And
of
I
all
hope
people.
I'm gonna tell you what I hope. I hope that so many people saw this and loved this
Oh, no,
and
people love this.
flood Hanifa
Yes.
with opportunities, but I
Mhm,
wanted to see what I have seen of that brand,
mhm,
that when I
mhm.
see something I know it's her, I wanted to see that
That
transition.
but you know what I think, and to your point, I think that this will work for Hanifa, for a new client, for a new fan, because people love this.
Good.
Like, I think we're probably, like, the only
The
2 that I
outliers.
know that
Good.
were like, "Huh," right?
Good.
So, I think this will make a new fan of the brand, um, but I wanted more. I wanted more from that,
Yeah.
but I those are my what is she doing? He, they, but I when I look back and I went through all of these to kind of curate the lists, I had more likes than I thought I did.
Same. I was texting you like
Yeah.
a couple of hours before we got on camera, and I was like, "Bitch, I might not only have 5. Like, hold on. I liked more than I realized
Mhm.
that I
Mhm.
liked." Um,
Yeah.
I think that overwhelmingly red carpets these days just aren't what they used to be very fair.
Yeah. That's
Um,
fair.
so I'm happy that we got so much good. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, we're
There
pretty
should have been more of
good.
us.
There should have been more of us on all levels, and I think
Mhm.
that for Anna to still be so in charge of the list, do you know what I mean? It's like, well, babe, you're not tapped into the culture like that. You're definitely not this is too specific,
Mhm.
right?
They're running out of ideas.
It's too
They're running out of
specific for
ideas.
you to not be you have to
Mhm,
be enmeshed, you have to be a
mhm.
part of to really you should have let someone else take over who should be there.
This would have been really good for CFDA if they did, like, themey things, right? Like, this would have been perfect for that, I think.
Mm.
But I think they're running out of ideas, to come up with, and to my point, and I've been saying it ad nauseum, like, nothing is for us unless it's by us. So,
Well,
I can appreciate the art, I can appreciate the fashions, I can appreciate the things and everyone putting those things together for us,
I
but I
wanna say
think
something. I wanna say
yeah,
something. When we think about the BET Awards at their inception, they were a production, and that show was for us, by us. Have not seen that in the past few years.
mm-mm,
When we talk about for us, by us, we still have to consider that there needs to be like a level of quality that seems to
100,
be lacking these days
100.
in it.
You know, the issue for me is I think what's missing now is that there is a thought process that the upper echelon, and this has always been it, right, across decades and generations and whatever, is that the upper echelon is whiteness, right? And so I think that like the more that we put stock into, oh, we belong at the Grammys, we belong at the Met Gala, we need to be in Vogue, right? Like we want to be included in these things. I think the more that we kind of like, oh, no, no, this is not, like this is kind of beneath me. I want to be here. The more that we continue to do that, the more we take away, like, I feel like we're going away from the plot, right? Like we're losing the plot. And I understand why, right? Like I do understand why. It's kind of like how we used to go to certain places to vacation and then they just became crazy because now a certain person is coming there, but people don't want to address that issue, right? Where it's like, "Oh, no, that's anti-Black." Is it?
We're losing the plot.
We're
We're
losing the plot, right? And so it's like, it's not necessarily like, because we used to do like, I mean, misogyny aside, but like Freaknik and all that stuff, right? Like things that were Black in culture, we're losing the things that were for us by us in culture, right? And I think I was reminded of that when I saw Sinners, when they were talking about the juke joint, where it's like, no, like, we have a place for us and we don't even have the money, right? Like we don't even have the white money to help us get to these things, but we still want to have a good time, we still want to experience this stuff. So I think that that's what it is for me, is I think we're just losing the plot of it all.
I think
Yeah.
that we're losing the plot culturally because we all hmm, capitalism.
Mm,
Whether you are a reluctant
100%.
participant or you bow down and pledge fealty, you bend the knee to the god of capitalism.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of people
100.
feel that unless you're getting white dollars, you're not getting real dollars. And I think
Absolutely. Same
still
with designers, right?
we still measure ourselves
Yeah.
by Western standards. We still, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, it's not good enough
Mhm.
to be approved of by your own. You a
Yep.
BET award don't count as much as a Grammy or
As
an
a Grammy,
Oscar.
an Oscar,
We
a
still,
Tony.
even though we know systemically and we want to do all these things to, Oscars so white and all that stuff, we still
It's
measure
still a fact,
we still
like, it's
measure
still there.
ourselves
Yeah.
alongside because they've had the time to build the brand equity,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
there's a reason like a Louis Vuitton or an Hermes or a whatever appreciates in a way that insert black designer here.
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
The longevity, we just
Mhm.
got rights. We just got the
Mhm.
right to vote. Black women just stopped being able to just started being able to be stay-at-home moms. Like
Baby, the Whitney
so
Museum in New Orleans, the last time that it had a slave on its plantation was in the 70s, 60s or 70s. So I mean, I agree. I'm just like, I think it's people need to look at duality, I think, right? Where it's like we can talk about the Met. We can have couple hour long conversation about the Met and the fashions, but still be cognizant of what is actually happening,
And
right?
that's what's
Yeah.
missing. We're not it's like Tanika B always talks about people need to be more intellectually rigorous. So a lot
Mm,
of this also comes down to our education system. Everything leads back to something else. Do you know what I mean?
mhm, mhm,
Everything leads back to something else. So we could go on
mhm.
and on. So let the people know where to find you in all the things.
So same on all platforms. None of my friends watch acronym anime, all spelled out, all one word, ANIME. Twitter, pretty much only on Twitter, but Twitter, Twitch, TikTok occasionally. I stream on Twitch and TikTok and Twitter at the same time. Usually I'm there Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. It really just depends on my mood, you know. I just kind of ride the wave. Like tonight I'm not streaming because I'm talking to my girlfriend, my good Judy. So yeah, we talk about shit, true crime, fashion, anime. I play video games, do nails. I need to do my nails probably on Tuesday when I stream. So,
Because
yeah.
I don't think I've seen your nails bare in
I'm dying.
I
Like,
don't even
literally.
know you. I don't even know you right now.
Yeah, I'm dying. Yeah.
Well, thank
So,
you,
we'll see.
friend.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
for
having me.
joining.